Perfect. And we are live again. So, welcome everyone to the Grafana Campfire Community called March Edition. And today you will see some new faces because we have something very exciting to talk about, which is called Grafana release pipeline. So, basically, what it means in a short, it means how Grafana engineering team released the Grafana on softwares like on the cloud and also on the prem. And there are many things involved in this. It's like a big chain which involves from testing, engineering, and so on. And before I jump into it, I would like to introduce to everyone in the call today. So I will start by myself. So my name is Usman. I work in Grafana Labs as a staff developer advocate, and basically I'm working with the R&D and the Grafana core project. And I love community. I've been part of community. You probably see me somewhere in the community forums or in the Slack as well. So yeah, and today, my co host and moderator is Tim. Yeah,
Hi.
Tim, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Usman, for hosting us here. I'm Tim Levett, Director of Engineering on the Grafana team, and I help support the Grafana backend, including the release pipeline. And I'll pass it off to Robert to introduce himself.
Hey everyone, I'm Robert. I'm engineering manager here at Grafana, leading the team called Grafana Backend Services. I've been with Grafana for 3.5 years now, and I'm based in Austria. I will hand over to Jeff.
Oh, hey there. My name is Jeff Forsberg. I've been at Grafana for over 3 years now, and I'm a software engineer, but currently I'm functioning as a EM in a secondment role, so taking on kind of two fun roles at the same time. I work on a lot of back-end things and then front-end EM stuff. It's been great. I'll pass off to Kevin.
Hello, my name is Kevin. I'm based in Spain, and I work on hosted Grafana and just all sorts of other stuff, mostly on like the build and release process at the moment.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for introducing yourself. So before we jump into the topic, I would like the audience to share something, what's happening in GrafanaCon. So let me just share my screen very quickly. Can anyone confirm that they can see the screen now? Jeff or Tim?
Nope. I still just see us.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I have to edit
we're
the
looking
state.
good.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah. So for those who didn't yet register or didn't know about GrafanaCon, so GrafanaCon is one of the very biggest event for the open source community, I would say. It talks about what we are doing at Grafana itself, the projects involved in it, and we are doing this again for Year 2026 in Barcelona. It's a, I would say, amazing opportunity to register for it, because not only you will hear talks from experts, but they are like science fairs and workshops, and you can find all the agenda here. So you can see all the activities which are fair for science fair. You can even ask the experts, basically maybe someone in this call you will meet there as well. And you can also register for workshops as well. So still there are some seats available, some tickets are available. So before it get all sold out, I would say purchase it, secure a spot, and meet us there. So yeah, that's for the GrafanaCon. And let me go back to our topic. So yeah, platform, or I would say release engineering. So I know it's a very, how you say, a fun and interesting and also complicated topic, because I'm not super expert when it comes to engineering or release engineering, how the software is released or release pipelines. Tim, maybe you want to share some fun facts, or what really you hate the most.
Yeah, so I mean, like RCI is like under constant evolution, I would say, right? Like as our software pipeline or our software gets more and more complicated, we have more and more tests to run and different types of tests to run. And then also we changed to a new vendor for running our CI/CD pipeline, right? So that was quite the journey as well, and I think we made a lot of great improvements over the recent months, right? I think, of course, the most frustrating thing always with CI is when it fails, right? to try to figure out what happened and trying to diagnose it, and then like rerunning it or like fixing whatever you accidentally broke, right? So
Yeah, and I think for new audience who are new to this track, I think the first question is like, what are pipelines? What are release pipeline? How you
yeah,
will
for
explain
sure.
this?
Does anybody else want to take this one, or Kevin?
I suppose I could.
Yeah.
I mean, it all starts with like compiling Grafana and building the front end for like the various architectures that we support, which at the moment is Linux AMD64, Linux ARM64, 32-bit ARM architectures, S390X, and for Windows and Mac as well. So we take all of those artifacts and we build them in our CI pipeline. And then there's another sequence of events that distributes them to all these different channels that people can download them from like whenever you see like them show up in like a GitHub release or on our website, like those are all targets that this process, or we call it a pipeline, like eventually just pushes them out to. So that's a pipeline is kind of an ambiguous name. It's just sort of like a sequence of things that happen. Could be anything arbitrarily,
It's basically taking it from our source code and then compiling it to make sure that like it works properly, right? Like that we build the bundles that we need to build, and then we like run a bunch of tests against that, right? Or the primitives that we typically do during our CI. And CI is continuous integration, if anybody wanted the basics of what it is.
What was the first CI software you've ever used, Tim?
Oh my gosh.
Jenkins?
Probably Jenkins. Yeah, I love Jenkins. It was great, like for what it did. I mean, we were a Java shop, so it made a lot of sense, right? And the amount of plugins, like the first plugin I always installed was changing the progress balls that it would have, the little circles, from blue to green, right? Because it bugged me that it was blue. But
And how you will explain like this journey, like now you mentioned like why it is needed. How someone who is new to this release engine or of releasing this through a pipeline, what are the core steps and why it should not be how you say, not left behind or should pay a lot of attention? What are the please.
Yeah, the why behind CI, why you want it in general, right, is if you make a change to your code base, how do you know that it is working as expected, right? And you didn't break anything else, right? So when we at Grafana push a PR up to the Grafana GitHub repo, we automatically have our CI pipeline pick that change up, and run through building it, testing it, and verifying that everything is okay, right? This is fully automated, right? And the reason why you want to do that, though, again, is just to make sure that you didn't accidentally break something while you're making a change. Because we make quite a bit of changes. I don't know if you've looked at the Grafana pipeline and the CI, or how many PRs are merged on a given day, but it gets north of 100. So it's like quite a lot of change happening.
I looked at how many lines were added and deleted in 1 week, and it was like 75,000 lines were added and like 135,000 were deleted.
That's wild.
In just like the last week, because there was like a mirror that sync that was like broken, and then I was like, oh, okay, I'll go fix it, and I'm like, wow. And in the time that it was broken until now, it's like there's 200,000 changes that happen. Like that is so many.
Yeah. And so with all that
Way more
change,
than
we
I
want to make
expected.
sure that we're delivering a quality product, right? And so that's how we can ensure that.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense totally, like to deliver to the end users or the customer a product which is not compromised, have this quality. And Kevin, you mentioned like you have deleted so many lines. So are these lines you are doing this like currently on more human level, or there is like also some involvement of AI as well, or currently in between?
Well, these are all from contributors, so all across the org, people are contributing to the Grafana code base.
And externally.
Yeah,
and outside
externally as well. Yeah. I imagine a lot of it is AI generated or AI assisted in some way. It's hard for me to like even want to look at some stuff like GitHub Actions without just trying to get AI to do it for me.
I mean, the tools are definitely getting a lot better over the last
3
months or so, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially since like some of these things are so hard to work with as is. It's like if I can get an advantage somewhere.
Like, how much do you like YAML, Kevin?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, how many lines of raw YAML are you or JSON it every day?
Oh, I'm the biggest fan of YAML, you know.
YAML.
Just like the white space significance really makes me happy.
So if you're not familiar, so we use GitHub Actions to do all of our CI pipeline. So, and you can see all of that if you go into github.com/Grafana, right? You can go and look at all of our what are they called? Actions, right? GitHub Actions that are running. And the way that you configure a GitHub action is through YAML configuration, right? Which is, it's kind of like JSON, except for it's all space space instead of a bunch of curly braces everywhere. But it's a love-hate relationship, because if you mess up the spacing of the indentation that you do, then it can mess up your whole config, which is really annoying.
Oh yeah. Could have a whole hour-long session about complaints about the syntax.
Well, good news, Kevin. We do have an hour here today. I'm just kidding.
I got a vacuum. Hold on.
All right. Cool. I think also we had a couple like slides to kind of walk through some of our releasing and like kind of a little bit more detail, a little bit of a deep dive. We want to go into the deep dive now, Usman, or did you have anything else you wanted to go over before?
No, I think let's go on the slide side, and should I share it now? Yeah, on the stage?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, perfect. So there we go.
All right. This is actually a fun image that Tim created. I created a couple more, but we have an internal kind of AI. Well, we have a bunch of fun internal kind of pet project AI tools, and this one is kind of a grot image creator that I was playing around with as well. So thank you, Tim, for letting me know about another social channel that I'm not good enough for. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit about our release pipeline. So we've kind of introduced ourselves already. My name is Jev. I'm a software engineer and EM as well. And you've met Tim, Director of Engineering, Robert as well. Hi, Robert. And Robert, did you say where you were located?
I forgot to say where I was located. I just realized I'm in Wisconsin.
Same. I'm in Colorado.
Nice.
Where
I like that we have a good spread of time zones here. It's good.
You do, yeah. Where's Robert? Robert, where are you located?
I thought I said that. I'm in Austria, in Europe, Central Europe.
Oh, did you say it? Oh, maybe I just missed it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And Tim,
I think
I know where
Robert is very close to me. I'm your neighbor in Nuremberg, Germany. So same time zone.
Oh, no way.
So we can run a German session today as well.
And then let's see, Tim. Tim's in. Well, I don't want to ruin the fun. Tim, where are you?
I already said I'm in Wisconsin.
Oh, you did, dude. Am I even paying attention? My bad.
That's cool.
All right, so let's chat a little bit about kind of how Grafana gets delivered. So the delivery models kind of shape everything about how releases work for us at Grafana. We have on-prem and cloud, and they're both fundamentally different pipelines. On-prem puts you in control as the user. You pull the packages, the Docker images, the binaries on your own schedule, and you upgrade to whichever version that you choose. And our cadence right now is generally one major release per year, and then with monthly releases alternating between supported patches and minors. Cloud, on the other hand, is a continuous delivery system, so we push updates to your instance automatically on a set schedule. And it's supported, cloud is supported, of course, by its own distinct set of tools to keep that process both safe and smooth. And every commit, at least for our on-prem releases, every commit to a release branch, and actually main as well, but we'll talk about that maybe a little later, to a release branch triggers a full artifact build. So it covers Debian, RPMs, tarballs, Docker images, and more just across Linux, Windows, and Mac OS, as Kevin has already mentioned. And the pipeline is largely automated, but there are a few deliberate kind of human approval gates before anything goes public. And those are the moments that we confirm that the build is what we want to the world, and we want the world to use it and download it. And we typically maintain around 5 supported versions simultaneously. Each minor version is supported for 9 months, and then the last minor of each major receives 15 months of support. So on any given release day, it can mean 10 or more parallel builds running at once between OSS and Enterprise for each version. And artifacts, of course, published to Grafana.com, the ABT and Yum repos, Docker Hub, etc. Lots of places to find the software. And as far as patching and versioning, for users running Grafana on-prem, the most practical thing to know, especially when there's security issues or bugs, is that Grafana doesn't always wait for the next scheduled release window, especially with high vulnerability issues. So patches can move really fast. Under the hood, fixes always land on main first and then get cherry-picked to the affected release branches. Depending on severity, a single bug fix can be backported from anywhere to 3 to 5 different versions across both OSS and Enterprise. And emergency patches follow the same kind of pipeline with the release management, fast-tracking coordination when needed. For security issues, the fix is never in a public repo until the day of coordinated disclosure. Artifacts are distributed to partners ahead of time, and then the patch and the CVE advisory land simultaneously as a public release. So the first public signal you'll see is the CVE advisory along with the patch dropping pretty much at the same time. So keep an eye out for security advisories if you are the person actually managing kind of the Grafana installs and versioning for you or your org. And that's kind of a high level. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff, sorry if I interrupting. I do have a very very important question, because I think this is something the community will really love to know. If they are running the on-prem, is there like how they know about the security announcements that there was a fix for a particular CVE which is needed? What is the right channel to know about this information?
Yeah, so our community Slack, I believe, has a security channel that drops those in there. I'm not 100% sure of that, but I think we do. Of course, like you'll see on the GitHub release page, you'll see when a new version drops, you'll see the change log that will include any CVE, like important CVE fixes that are there. But outside of that, that's a good question. Tim, do you know that?
I think Kevin mentioned there's also the security advisory website that we have on Grafana.com, right? Which is I think linked in the footer of our website. You can go find it there.
Yeah. Yeah, Kevin, did you have anything to add about that?
No, I think the security advisories is probably the best place to look, but I want to say that could be like an RSS feed. Like I'm pretty sure, like, or we make blog posts too about it, which I'm quite certain has an RSS feed.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different channels. We also always make sure to add them to the changelog. So if you're subscribed to our changelog, then you'll see it there, right? It will be in the release notes, right?
Cool, thanks.
So, yeah, thank you. Do you have any more questions? Next, we're going to move on to cloud, and I think Robert's going to take us through how cloud is functioning in its release process. But Usman or anyone, do we have anything we want to chat about?
Sorry, Robert, or who want to edit?
I think that was me. We also every day we try to. Sometimes there's like a compilation error that somebody had merged that day or something, but we try to publish a nightly version every 24 hours. So if you just want like the latest and you don't care if it breaks, then we have a nightly release as well.
That's true. Is that just on Docker, or is that also available on the download side? I can't remember.
That's on the download side as well.
Yeah, you got GitHub and all the usual suspects.
Yeah, I know a lot of people run nightly. It's a specific tag inside of Docker as well, which is super handy. Yeah. So if you want the latest, greatest, that's where you can get
Also,
it.
we recently added Docker tags that are the minor version only. So you can do like Grafana :12.4, and then it'll automatically update if we do any new 12.4 releases.
So it'll update during a patch release, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Assuming you have it like configured to do
automatically pull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can share one screen very quickly about this, because this is important information how to use nightly, because it can be a bit tricky even for me as a Grafana user where to find it. So I will just remove this slide for a moment, Jeff.
Yeah, go for it.
And yeah. So basically, this is the page. If you go on like on the Grafana homepage and just go in Grafana and click on download. So there you will find the download version and information. You can select which one, but here is the nightly build one. So if you click it, then you have all the option for your choice. Like if you want to test this nightly build on Docker, on Linux, or whatever. So yeah, just one click of this button can switch from nightly to the official release one. But this is the right place to get it. I'm pretty sure. I know like there is also one for on the Docker Hub or similar areas.
Yep.
But on our own page, this also exists.
Yeah, and we have a link out to the Docker image right there too, right? It's one of the boxes,
Yeah.
which can give you the instructions on how to use nightly with Docker as well. So.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
So going back to the slides. Perfect.
Yeah, so that's kind of the high level overview for on-prem. Next, we're going to chat through cloud. Robert, do you want to take that?
Sure. So let's talk about cloud and a process we call rolling release channels, or RRCs. That's our continuous delivery setup for Grafana Cloud. Think of RRCs as the way we get updates to customers safely and predictably. We assign every Grafana Cloud instance to a specific channel. Each channel has a different rhythm or cadence, and that rhythm basically controls how often instances get updated. Like quick breakdown, as you see on the screen, is we have 4 channels: instant, fast, steady, and slow. Instant gets hourly updates, but it's meant for our staff only. This is our playground for very fast feedback. Then we have fast, which gets daily updates for early adopters who like living close to the cutting edge. We have steady, which gets weekly for most customers who want regular improvements. And we have slow. This is for customers who value stability above all. So think of it as a slow lane where changes basically take their time. Names are intentionally not tied to the exact timing. Cadence can shift, and what matters is the relative ordering, not the interval. Let me talk about on the next slide about the happy case scenario and how the updates reach your instance. So the channels are a quality funnel, not just a timing mechanism. Each gate is a real checkpoint. In practice, most users should not notice any of this. Their cloud instance updates quietly. But when something goes wrong, like this containment model is what keeps it from affecting everyone. To be more specific, versions do not jump straight from one channel to another. They have to earn their promotion. By promotion, I mean after deployment, SLO check run, and only passing versions are promoted to the next channel. Even within a channel, instances roll out in groups, starting with dev, ending with production. We have automated tests in place which run after each group, and failure stops the rollout, like preventing it from spreading and reaching steady or slow customers. So this is the happy case. But what if we need a fix which can't wait for the next rollout? Let's go to the next slide. And we can imagine a scenario where we discover a critical bug affecting our customers on a slow channel, and next rollout might be even a month away. So RRC patching is our answer to that. We build a new image from exact version customers are running, and apply that fix just on top. It goes through CI as any other release, and when it passes our quality bar, it gets deployed to the channel. From customer perspective, a small patch version, bump, but no other feature is delivered, so it should not bring surprises. This way we can respect the stability and stability contract and fix only the critical issues. So this is somehow the surgical option for our cloud customers. Rather than bumping all slow customers to a new base they didn't ask for, we patch the one they are already on. So it's more complex operationally, but it's the right answer for customers who wants to be on a slow channel.
Interesting.
This is the rough overview of both the happy case and the case when we need to patch your cloud instances quickly.
No, this is very interesting. And Robert, I have a question. If you can go 2 slides back, the table which you explained, like for the slow and fast. So, and we are right now talking about on the security side, like if there is a fix needed, then we have different channel and cadence. So if a customer who might be on slow and there is one on or steady, let's say, the patch will be delivered to both on their cadence level. But would it be also the case that the patch is there, but there is a difference in the version or in difference in the features? Does the Grafana Cloud have everywhere the same versions, regardless on the channel and the cadence? Do you understand my question?
I think I do. So what we need to do on our side is to confirm which channels are affected. And we create patches for every affected channel. So what you will see in practice is a separate patch for steady and a separate patch for slow being rolled out to affected customers. It can happen that we notice an issue which is only affecting, let's say, fast and steady customers. So we do not need to patch slow. So it's always case by case. Like it's hard to answer generally, but we create a patch for every single channel.
Yeah. I mean, it's important to note too, right? Like, so the Grafana version itself for cloud doesn't make as much sense, right? Like, so historically, like when we first built Grafana Cloud, we actually would release on-prem first and then upgrade cloud to that released version, right? So it was actually versioned, right? Now we've actually flipped that. When we built rolling release channels, right, we actually flipped that on its head. And that we actually ship to cloud first, right? And so if you want the latest, greatest version of Grafana that's available, jump onto cloud, right? And then they roll out through the channels, and we actually pick, I don't know if we're going to cover that or not, or if maybe we already did, but we pick one of the steady versions to promote to on-prem, right? So that's how we actually pull that.
Yeah, we actually, so we try to use the quality gates that RRC has set in place for us for on-prem to actually make sure that we, can assure that our on-prem product has passed through those quality gates first. So our commits for any minor and major have already passed through instant, through fast, and have cooked in steady, so that we can kind of make sure that things are where they need to be, so that our customers and users have something that we can more highly guarantee is going to be stable.
And Tim, what you said, that it's like to get the updates for the latest and greatest. So rolling out is one thing. Let's say that patch was rolled out and it fixed the security problem, but it can happen that there might be some other problem discovered after rolling out. So is there like a rollback option as well for a customer who says like,
we can do it, right? Like if there's a major problem, we can do a rollback of a patch, right? Or a rollback of, like, we deployed out from fast to steady and we realized there was a big problem. We can roll back, but we prefer roll forward, right? Like we prefer pushing a patch with the fix to fix it and move forward. Just because, like, when you do a roll forward, right? Like, so Grafana architecture real quick, like there's a front end, back end, and a database. When you upgrade the database in the data store to that new version, right? So there can be like data changes, there could be new tables added or new columns added, right? the flow of information can change, right? And so, but if you try to downgrade, there's no downgrade script for our database, right? And so there's a higher risk of a bit of unknown when you do a rollback, right? And so best practices really with CI/CD pipelines is always roll forward and only roll back if you absolutely have to.
I would also highlight feature toggles, like for major features and major changes, we roll them out through enabling feature toggles. And what we can do instead of rolling back is just flipping the toggle.
Yeah. I mean, if you nerd out on the Grafana repo, you can like look at the registry and see the list of all of the different feature toggles that we have. And like, there's been a lot more added over the last few years. And it's mainly because like the way that we roll out to cloud is this is how we roll out our code. But to Robert's point, right, like how we roll out a new feature to the customers is by just turning on a feature toggle, but the code might have been there already for a while, right?
And yeah, thanks for sharing this. And I really, I know from my past, like this rollback is very risky thing, because the database can change and something then get broken. It is more harder to fix it and then roll forward. So that was my question, like how we do it more better and securely, rather than falling in a pitfall and doing this like a continuous vicious cycle. So
yeah, we definitely prefer the patch approach, right? Especially for steady and slow. For instant and fast, like instant, like nobody except for staff is on it, so it's not really a big deal. Like in that rolls out hourly, right, during the workday. So that we don't ever patch really. Fast, we typically just fast forward instant into fast, right? Like, so fast runs daily, but we can run it more often if we want to, or if we need to, right? To be able to push out. The patching is typically held for slow and steady. Yeah.
Nice, thanks.
Yeah.
Robert, you want to go forward?
I think we continue with what's next, and I think that's with you, Tim.
Oh yeah, cool. So Grafana is this giant repo, lots of different surface area. It does a lot of different things, right? And so we're noticing scalability challenges as we get more and more people that are using cloud, which is a great problem to have, right? And so what we are thinking about is what could we do to break off parts of Grafana into a separate, scalable, multi-tenant level service, right? And so we're starting to do this inside of cloud, right? And it's been quite the journey. All the code is still going to live in Grafana, right, to do this, but we're seeing a lot of really good advantages just from like efficiency gain from the amount of like CPU and memory that we can run. You can just run at a much bigger scale if you're running multi-tenant services. So this is kind of where we're going, and how this is actually going to impact CI/CD is instead of rolling out a single binary to the collection of services, we're going to be able to roll out independent services at independent times, right? So different services can have different release cadences, which is pretty typical with a modern day like SaaS product, right? Like if you think about like GitHub isn't just one big binary, right? It's a bunch of different services, back-end, front-end services that are deploying at different intervals, right? So the nice thing about that approach is when you do a rollout of your service, that's a smaller impact. It's not everything, right? So so there might be, if there's an issue with a given rollout, it would only be in a small part of the app instead of like the whole thing, right? So that's what we're working on right now, and it's been an exciting journey so far. Going from cloud first was a great milestone, and I'm really excited about that. But this is what's coming next, where we're actually just breaking up this monolithic approach into more separate multi-tenant services. So,
is it something saved for GrafanaCon or after or need some?
Well, we already talked about it a bit at the last GrafanaCon, actually. And so this is we had a presentation in a deep dive on app platform. right? And so this is the continuation of that story, where instead of everything running inside of core Grafana, we're breaking it up into different services or different apps. And you can already see this in the code base with dashboards, right? And so the dashboard API surface is now running as an app platform entity and can be run separately inside of Grafana Cloud, right? And so it has a completely different path. Like it's instead of /API, it's /APIs with an S at the end. You know, it makes it different. But it's also, what's really nice about this is we're changing from non-versioned APIs that can change whenever, which is hard to predict, especially with like downstream libraries, right? Like the Terraform provider as an easy example, right? Now we're changing those to versioned APIs. So you'll know and expect change when it goes from like version 1 to version 2, right? So better predictability for downstream libraries.
And this is this something also like I know plugins like the Grafana plugin ecosystem.
Sure.
So there are like plugins which come in as a part of core Grafana project, but there are some plugins which are actually created and maintained by Grafana devs. So does it also affect the plugin ecosystem as well? Does it introduce this new change in that direction too?
Yeah, so it definitely does, right? So we're building a way to run plugins remotely, which is pretty cool, right? As an independent service that can scale out horizontally as the customer demand requires it, right? Which is like just a much better memory footprint model, right? Because historically speaking, all of the data sources would run inside of the Grafana container. And like, if you think about what a data source does, right? It goes out and grabs some data from some third-party data source and then brings that into Grafana, mutates it into a data frame collection, and then sends that back to the front end of Grafana, right? And so that data manipulation or that transformation is pretty expensive because you have to crawl through all of that data, right, to transform it. So we're offloading that into a separate service that's not Grafana backend, right? And so that's going to reduce down the memory footprint for Grafana core to be able to run. Sorry, that was like super technical.
No, I think that's it is very insightful. Yeah, I know like not so many audience know about like how the data source work, but in general they know the idea like it collects the data from some third-party service or some other source where the data is available, and I know like there are cases where users have used a lot of transformation to get the data exactly what they need, but it also increase or like the load on the CPU or on the front side or like maybe on your browser. So it can kill it in short. So
yeah, I actually started at Grafana working on data sources, and I remember one of the first like incidents that I started was because we were populating like a drop down, so to make it easier to like find like just to populate like the query editor, and the query that we were using for that and the way that we transformed the data was just using an insane amount of memory.
That's fun. Yeah, the transformations are super powerful, right? Like you can really manipulate whatever data you're getting back from whatever data source into exactly the format that you want, right? Which is super helpful. And it's also important to note, like, so transformations, right, all happen on the front end. So depending on what you're doing there, it can get pretty expensive on your browser, right? That can stress it out pretty heavily. There's also expressions, which is an option as but in all of that, expressions all happen on the back end, right? And so that you can offload that to your server to do that transformation, which is kind of handy. And one that we recently launched was the SQL expressions, right? So it's a way of transforming your data using SQL, which is super cool, right? Like I think that's really next level on what we can do with our data sets.
And if you use expressions, you can start using Internet Explorer again if you're still running that.
Oh, I believe
Was that
there
a
are
joke,
many
Jeff?
cases it's still using
It's a
Internet
joke.
Explorer.
Joke, everyone.
No, there are cases actually.
I don't get the joke.
I don't
I
get the
need you
joke
to
either,
explain it
but
to me.
it's cool. I think there was
Because
a joke in there, right?
you guys are weak. I actually did. I started at Grafana working in data viz, and we have since split teams into data visualizations and data processing. And data processing has a couple of incredible engineers who have been making some of these transformations so incredibly performant as well for our front end client on our browsers. And the speed at which you can do a lot of these transformations now is actually incredible. So not to downplay what expressions are, because I think we're continually moving in that direction, but also they've done an incredible job just making things very quick. It's impressive.
Exciting. Cool. So yeah, that's kind of what's coming next with CI/CD and how we're evolving it in Grafana Labs is shifting to, instead of like regular cadence rollout of the whole Grafana platform or your instance of Grafana, we're shifting to a more seamless approach via CD, right, or continuous delivery. And it's also important to note we don't just roll out to everybody all at once, right? We're like, if you look at the cadence, right, we're still doing that, and we're just transforming it into what's called waves, where you'll like it will be a small subset of customers across different regions that will get the updates for a given service, and we'll roll that out on a timely fashion, right? But it will be more of a continuous type of a rollout. And
interestingly, too, we should probably mention the front end is actually already, I believe, on waves.
That's true. It's on its way. Like, so it's on a wave, if you will, Jev.
It's on a wave, soon to be waves.
Yes, yes. Well,
no,
yeah. So go ahead.
I was just going to say that what's interesting is kind of as front-end engineers and back-end engineers have kind of had to connect more in the last few months, because the front-end deployment is actually on a different kind of cadence than the back-end rolling release channels as well. And so assuring that front-end changes are going to match whatever API they're trying to connect to on the back-end has been another interesting conversation that's been going on, and also highlights the importance of feature flags as well, which we've already mentioned. Is that making sure if you're a front-end developer, you are gating your features in a way that you can assure the user and the customer that, like, no matter what backend they're using, your feature will either pop up or not, depending on kind of versioning. So really interesting stuff kind of moving forward.
For sure. And it goes again to the reason why we want to shift over the API to be versioned, right? So that you know exactly what version of the API and which structure you're going to get back, and where that data is going to be going, right? So it becomes more critical than ever. Cool. And I think that's all that I had on what's coming next. Usman, what questions do you have?
Yeah, I think I'm just first gonna share this link, and maybe since we still have a good amount of time and we didn't have yet questions, so maybe if you can just go to that link, I can share your screen and you can explain like how it looks like, so it can give the audience who will understand like how to make use of this page more productively. So I can remove the slides for now, and I can share my screen if that is okay, and then someone can explain it in more better. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Let me just do that. Yeah, I think we talk about on the security advisory side. So yeah, go ahead. Anyone who wants to take this.
Yeah, so it's just a very simple table, and on the upper right you'll see that you can search for a specific CVE if you're very curious. Like if you want to look for something specific, you can filter down to different severities, right? It defaults to everything, and then all products. So Grafana is more than just Grafana. Fun facts. And so we also ship a lot of other things too, including like Loki, Tempo, Mimir. And so this CVE list is for everything that we ship, right? And everything that we've had a CVE against, right? And that we've published. So if you wanted to look specifically for Grafana, you have to click that and click that top one, which is just Grafana. And then you will see a list of all of the CVEs that we have fixed and published.
You'll see a lot of more Grafana CVEs than any other product too, because it's just a different security model. And we have, unlike Mimir and Tempo, we have authentication and authorization sort of stuff as well. I'm pretty sure that, I guess I shouldn't say that without knowing for sure, but I'm pretty sure that the auth model of Mimir and Tempo is like, if you can reach it, you can probably query it, right?
Yeah, well, it's different, right? Like, so that was actually a architectural decision that they made when building the product, is to not make auth part of the core product, right? And so even though Mimir is a multi-tenant service, it's just passing in the header with what your tenant ID is, right? We actually have a service that we built on top of Mimir to add in the auth layer, right? And the advantage there is then you can share that auth layer across many different products, right? So all of our databases use that same service.
Yeah. I should also mention that the way that we do versions, like for security releases, is we just take what was already released and then add the plus security appendix. That way, like, oh, I'm running 10.4.18, but not plus security 01. But 10.4.18 plus security 01 is out. You should update, because it's literally just what you're already running plus the fix. It's not going to be anything extra.
No, exactly. We always try to make it as small amount of change as possible when we're doing security patches, right?
And sorry, someone wants to go ahead? I actually have a question.
I had a question too. No, you go, Usman, man. Go for it.
This is something I think back in the community, this happened actually twice, that so let's assume that someone from the community who has expertise and knowledge on the security side identifies something, that there's a security missing the CVE, and Grafana need to fix it. So what is the right channel for that particular user? Like, where should that user ask this or request for the fix?
Right. So if you go to Grafana GitHub repo and click on issues and create new issue, there's an option around report a security vulnerability that pop in the pop-up. Actually, do you want me to share my screen real quick and I can just walk through how to do that?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Sure. It's the little plus button. I didn't try this, so let's see if it works. Sharing screen.
And we have a bug bounty system, so you can actually you might be able to get some money if it's a good, if it's a real vulnerability.
Cool. Yeah, that's true. So that's a good call out. So this is on the Grafana repo. You'll see issues.
Tim?
Click new issue, and then there's this.
Sorry, I'm really interrupting. You can start again, but can you just zoom in a little bit, please?
Oh yeah, how do I?
Control plus maybe.
Yeah,
oh yeah, much better. And yeah, now I start again. Sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah, no problem. Good call out, right? Reading is important. So if you're on the Grafana GitHub repo, you click on issues, and then you click on new issue, and then report a security vulnerability, right? And then so this explains the bug bounty program, and you can click that link to go out to that, or you can just send us an email at security@grafana.com. If you want to encrypt it, that'd be super good. And And then also this has a link out to the security tag and the RSS feed that we were talking about.
I think because it opened in a new tab, we only see
I'll do it
GitHub.
again. Okay, sorry, I didn't realize it went to a new tab.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
So yeah, so here's the security MD, which will outline what the bug bounty program is, the email, and the security announcements, including the RSS feed that we were looking for.
Yes, it is imperative that you do not report security vulnerabilities on the public repo.
Yeah, no, that's a bummer when that happens, but mistakes happen. But yeah, don't create a new issue. Like that's because what that ends up doing, right? Like why not do that, right? So that publicly exposes that we have found a vulnerability to everybody that's reading issues on Grafana, which can be the whole world. So that's what we at security like to call a 0 day. And so when a 0 day happens, we have to like urgently get everybody onto a call and get a fix out as soon as possible, right? And it also can expose people that have their Grafana exposed to the internet, which is quite a bit of people, including everybody on cloud. Well, not everybody on cloud. Anyway, so it exposes a lot of different people to that vulnerability. So just be smart about security vulnerabilities and please use the proper channels.
And you will get paid for the bug bounty. So
that's true. You can get paid, right?
But you won't be if you make an issue.
Yeah.
Make it a 0 day.
And if a user like bug bounty is definitely one thing which I'm pretty sure someone who has this hobby to find issues, vulnerabilities, like will do that. But as a new user who may not be doing this as a hobby, found something, and so if the user opens an issue, what details should it provide via GitHub? Like I know like version number is important, but what other details are
just for like a normal bug, not security related?
Yeah,
like they found a bug, right? So there's a really nice template actually that when you open a new issue, like you saw that like issue type, right? If you click bug, we have templates laid out, and please use the template. Because what that will do is we have a triage automation, right? Which will automatically review the template and the answers that you provided it and align it to the right team, right? To actually go through and review it. So sharing out exactly what happened and what version you were using, right? Is
what your environment is, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for sharing this, because we always like I know like from the community side there is always not a security issue or not even a bug, but even a problem like something is not working. Which version I don't know, which operating system no idea, and maybe it's running in a container or on Linux.
Yeah,
don't know anything. So providing this information means like you are actually not helping us, but also yourself or the company we are working from to get the fix more quicker, and this reduce this back and forth communication and reduce that gap. So more details actually more better for us as well.
Yeah, absolutely, right? But if you don't have it, that's okay too, right? Like I would prefer a non-detailed ticket that has it versus no ticket where you're just like, whatever, I don't have that information, right? So whatever you can get us, we appreciate it. Cool. Is there any other questions that anybody has? Jeb, you said you had a question earlier. Do you want to?
I did. I had a question I don't know the answer to, and I think Tim might know. But the release cadence of our databases, so Loki and Tempo and Mimir, what are those? How are we assuring coherence between versioning and things like that for those?
For sure. So for cloud, right? So for all of our database products, they run on a weekly release cycle, or it's a 2-week cycle actually. So week 1, they take whatever's in main and they roll that out through different waves. I think they have like 12 different waves that like correlate to specific regions, right? So you roll out to dev and operations, or operations is kind of like our QA environment to validate internally everything's okay. So it rolls out on week 1, it will roll out to dev and ops, right? And then on week 2, they take that same version and roll that out across all of production, right? Across the production waves. And they have the same like patching mechanisms and be able to stop whenever if they discover an issue. But then on that week 2, a new commit of main is now going through dev and ops, right? And so there's like, if you think about like waves in an ocean, right, there's always a new one coming, right? So it's always on that like week delay, if you will, from what's in main. And then for production, for on-prem, all of our databases are a little bit different, right? Like they kind of do a release when they have a good collection of features to deploy out as a minor release or a major release. So just
we have like, at least Grafana has kind of a yearly major
it's true.
Release. Is that true with Loki and our database? Are they like once a year we're going to do a major and minors are going to be tossed out when we feel like we have a handful of features that we appreciate? Okay.
Yeah, no, I think they more focus on like Semver type of setup where it's like major release when there's a breaking change kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, we like to celebrate every year with a new version of Grafana visualizations, right? And so we have Grafana Con where we typically share out, here's the new release and here's all the amazing new things that you can do with Grafana. So stay tuned.
Number 13, G13, lucky G13, I think.
Yeah, it's lucky 13, right?
Yeah. Are there any questions from or anything which you want to add into this conversation?
Yeah. So Robert, I have a question to you, maybe, right? Like, so if I was a customer on Grafana Cloud and I wanted to run a very specific version of Grafana, can I do that?
No, I don't want to say no as an answer, but the version should be irrelevant to you, right? That's the model we want to go away from. You are basically on a cloud and you receive features through frequent updates, and feature number, like version number, becomes irrelevant. And even more as we move away from singleton and Grafana to multi-tenant world, even if we would like to like help you out, I think we can, because those services will have their own lifecycle and versions. And it's about like integrating them. It's not about giving you a single instance. So let's talk about what do you need from us, the reliability and how we can achieve that, not about the version number.
No, for sure. And if you're a customer, we also have the support channel where you can always request a support issue to be created. So
yeah, that's actually I have a question. So we have a very strong and vibrant community on Slack channel. So do we have a Slack on the Grafana community Slack channel? So do we have a dedicated channel where they can ask a question related to release or security or even bugs?
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, or the other way is like we know like there's a one place for GitHub where they can follow this this approach to mention. We have I think in Grafana Slack there is also a channel called General or Grafana. So maybe if you can highlight like which one are the best option or when to use what, could be a bit helpful for the users.
Yeah, that's a good question. No, go ahead, Kevin.
I'll tell you the one that I'm in, and it's the Grafana channel.
True. Right. So like the community Slack is super helpful for having a conversation about something if you're not sure, right? But if you think you found a bug, like just file a ticket right on GitHub. I think that's the easiest path, right? Because like I said, we have like an auto triage that will route it to the right team so they can have a look. right? But if you're curious to learn more about something, or if you're interested to have a conversation, we do have a lot of developers that are in there. And I was just seeing like there's 15,000 people that have some Grafana experience that on that channel, on the Grafana channel specifically. So have at it, you know, like there's a lot of people that provide feedback there. So. But if you are on cloud and you need an assistant, or if you need help, right? We do have grafana.com/support. Yeah, and that will give you access to our support team, which you can like send them an email, or you can collect information and send it through our portal there. So
yeah, and I know
they're incredible. The support team is awesome. We, as engineers, we interact with them all the time. They will come to us and be like, we have this thing, and we connect and we talk through how to solve things and talk about timelines, and they are very Johnny on the spot, as we say. So do not be afraid to reach out.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Because I think my last question, because we run almost out of time now. Anything which you want to add as what is a bad practice for users, like should like when they have issues or when there is an update, what should they do and should not ignore it? Anything you want to share from your experience?
I mean, like one thought that I have is like it helps out the whole community to report issues, right? Because, and also like when you think you found an issue, like look through the open issues. Maybe somebody already did, and then you can just add your +1 to it, right? It's super helpful for us because then we bubble up the things that are impacting the most community members, right? So yeah, if you think you found something, please feel free to reach out, and we can have a look. You know, I think not doing something is tricky, right? Like I know people are busy, everybody's busy, right? But like definitely don't live with broken things. If you do find something broken, like we're very happy to take a look at it, and hopefully you don't find very many broken things. But you know.
Thanks everyone. We have now reached the limit of time. But yeah, thank you once again, everyone, Jeff, Robert, Tim, and Kevin. I actually learned a lot about release pipeline, security, even the bug bounty program. I have always heard, but I was not sure, do we have one or not? And yeah, you can get paid actually. That's the fun part also. So you can try it as a hobbyist and you may become an expert and also keep getting paid as well. And yeah, I think what we also learn is that the importance of the community, like share the information, don't be afraid, because we have an amazing team, amazing engineers. We have also amazing support team. So you will not be feeling alone or left behind. We got your back. So yeah, thanks once again. And yeah, we will see you in the next Grafana community call session. And yeah, small announcement, the next Grafana community call session will be going live directly from GrafanaCon. So you will not see me, but someone else, but it will be a live hosting directly from GrafanaCon. So you don't want to miss out. So yeah, that's all for today. I wish everyone a pleasant day and a fun weekend ahead. And till then, take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Happy Friday.
Thank you. Happy Friday.